a difficult time seeing it through? ESPN featured the inspirational story of the 1992 Olympic runner Derek Redmond. He went through strict training and was favored to win the gold in the 400-meter race. He was about 150 meters into the race when he tore his right hamstring muscle, and he fell to the ground. Derek had a choice to make. Would he give up, or would he finish his race? Despite his excruciating pain, Derek got up and began hopping down the track. His devoted father saw his agony and held his son up as he completed the course. Just as an athlete must go through strict training and discipline to win the race, and sometimes failures, the same is true when we're talking about our walk with God. We need to understand that when we are relentlessly pursuing God, we will face obstacles. We are going to need faith. It's going to take work, and we must listen to God. In Judges chapter 6, we're introduced to Gideon from the tribe of Abiezer, the smallest clan of Manasseh. God calls Gideon to rescue Israel from the bondage of the Midianites. But Gideon saw nothing that would qualify him as a hero. Gideon was a farmer, the youngest in his family and weak in his faith. But he was a humble and determined man. If he could overcome his insecurities and doubts by relentlessly pursuing God, nothing would hold him back. Gideon faced obstacles of insecurities and doubt. When God called him in Judges 6:14-15, he replies, "How can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family." Gideon's clan was made up of lowly farmers, and the Midianites were mighty warriors. However, he was only thinking of what he knew he could do, not what God could do through him. Do you ever feel like that? Like God is calling you to go or do something that you're not qualified for? You would probably want some reassurance. I know I would. Gideon responds to God's call in verse 17, "If you are truly going to be with me, show me a sign." Because of his struggle with doubt, he continually asks this of God. He wanted a guarantee that he would not fail. And God gives him just that by granting each request he makes. Because of this, Gideon's faith grew stronger. Are there times you think you aren't good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to answer God's call for your life? Or you fear failure? These are lies that Satan uses to keep you from relentlessly pursuing God and finishing your race. If you seek God, he will guide you and give you victory over your insecurities and doubts. In Judges chapter 7, Gideon replaces his insecurities with obedience and his doubt with trusting God. He prepares his undersized army of 32,000 men for battle against 135,000 Midianite warriors. But God said there were too many. God directs Gideon to release the timid and fearful, along with other unfit men, until only 300 remained. Gideon could have become discouraged, but instead he trusted in God. In obedience, Gideon and his 300 men surrounded the Midianite camp. Judges 7:22 says, "When the 300 Israelites blew their horns, the Lord caused the warriors in the camp to fight against each other. Not one in Gideon's army fought in that battle." Are you trying to fight your own battles instead of trusting in God? Do you try to do things on your own until you fail and then you cry out to God? Even when you don't understand his plans, you need to be obedient and listen to his voice. It is in these times that God's miracles are revealed through unlikely people. Do you struggle with insecurity and doubt? Are you discouraged or ready to quit? I challenge you today to relentlessly pursue God and trade your insecurities with obedience and your doubts with trust in God. Don't be distracted by other runners on the course. Your race is uniquely yours. Go after the one, and you will finish your race victorious.